Welcome to Red Bandana Gaming, the channel where Logan will show you everything. From gameplay to gear, their crew is here to take you on a journey through every atmosphere. Releases to news, you don't have to choose. Red Bandana Gaming is here for you.
Hey everybody, Logan here. Not going to do any jokes or things right now because I'm going to just get into the nitty-gritty of this is not normal for the channel. This isn't technically video game based, but I'm sure a lot of you who follow the channel have followed or have seen or have watched Masters of the Universe at some point in your life. And the new Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 1 series came out on Netflix today. For those who are in the know, you know Kevin Smith is a massive freaking liar. And you can check out channels like Clownfish TV, Geeks and Gamers and whatnot, and they can go into it a little more about the nonsense of his BS over the last year or so hyping up this show. As a true He-Man super fan, I have not just shirts, I have the entire DVD series including new Adventures of He-Man and the 2002. I have boxes and boxes of original Masters figures and all the 2002 series. I have not set them up yet because I'm still in, I still haven't got all the new furniture for my new house. It takes time. I have a whole nother room that's got my wife and I's almost like a geek den kind of thing, and I have a shelf that I'm buying, which is specifically for my master stuff. And I've even bought some of the new stuff from the pops and whatnot. So I'll do another video on that later on. But this is a review of the first 5 episodes of MOTU Revelations, and I'm glad they didn't call it He-Man because this isn't the He-Man show. If Kevin Smith wasn't such a lying bastard and actually just called it for what it freaking is, Masters of the Universe, Teela's Revelation. It is the Teela show. This is an all-women show. That's what it is. He-Man back in the day was split into a boys category and a girls category. That's how they did it. She-Ra was for the girls, He-Man was for the boys. But everybody watched it, so that's why you had strong male and strong female characters in both series. So Kevin Smith was trying to justify this by saying, "Oh, Teela was right alongside." No, Teela is the lead of this show. I get where they were going. I could see how the story was progressing. Now, if you want to say this is canon, it's not. It's impossible for this to be canon. There are spoilers, caution spoilers. Let's say this. The show wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. I say it lies somewhere between meh and were they thinking? So, let me continue. For those of you who haven't watched it yet, stop right now. Watch it if you want. Otherwise, just keep watching. So, the canon that can't be canon. Why? Because if anybody knows anything about MOTU, this was wrong. So, it feels like Kevin Smith watched the Masters of the Universe movie, the original one with Dolph Lundgren, and then decided to watch the first couple of the episodes of Masters in the last few episodes and decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to also watch The Toys That Made Us on Netflix and watch the Masters episode. And maybe even that documentary on Masters that's also on Netflix. Shocker. And that's where he seemed to get all of his information from. Because if you had watched the series, watch the original series from 83 on, not 81. I watched it, I started watching it when I was very young. I was 2 years old when I started watching it. Some people are like, what? Yes, I was 2 years old. I started getting the toys around 3 and 4 years old when they had stopped making the television series, but the toys were still in boom. So this was slightly bit different than anything we've ever seen, let's just say the least. But He-Man, they made him Yes, a background character. Tila was beyond muscular. I've never seen Tila like that. They made King Randor a total asshat, which he was never like that. He was a strong father. Yes, he was. He was never diminutive to Adam. He never talked down to him like he was a little snotwad. And he did not treat. He would never treat Duncan, Man at Arms, the way he did in this show. Never. And that's for someone who's watched the entire series multiple times. And then Tila just has a hissy fit out of nowhere. At the end of the first episode started well. And then I was like, okay, I see where they're going. One, they got the history of the Power Sword completely wrong. It was, even if you go by the original toys before the animation came out, yes, there were two parts of the sword. Skeletor had one, He-Man had the other. But if you want to get into the extended lore with the TV show and older comic books, they go on to explain one was forged in Castle Grayskull, one was forged in Snake Mountain, and He-Man had the true Power Sword. Skeletor built his to basically contend with He-Man, but he could never give him the power. And it was not... Oh, that was... Oh. And don't get me started on the Revelations comic book. Where they were just like, you know what, timeline? What's that? We're just going to throw it out the window and just make shit up. They did the same thing in the show. Preternia, for those who are fans of Masters, know Preternia never really existed in the actual TV show, but it was written and then later revealed through comics and whatnot that Preternia was an era of Eternia before Eternia that we knew. Think of Pangea before Earth, and that's how it was. Where Hero was the original, I guess you could say, power wielder, and they turned the toy playset of Eternia into Preternia. And don't get me started on King Grayskull. I guess they just have a problem with continuity. But hey, you know what? They didn't even mention lineage either. There's only one thing that I did not mind. They threw in the original concept art for He-Man as one of the other characters in Preternia, because their Preternia was actually more like Valhalla. If you know Norse mythology. Norse? Yeah. Valhalla. Where they die and they go to heaven. But that's not what Preternia is. So, yeah, this show got a lot of things wrong. If Kevin Smith's a super fan of anything, it's... Excuse me for the language. A super fan would know the difference, would know this is impossible to be canon, especially for those who are Masters or He-Man super fans. We do know that the continuity, the correct continuity from the end of the 85 series was 1990 when He-Man, The New Adventures of He-Man came out. Mattel, official continuity. Some people don't know about it because technically it ran for 65 episodes, and according to sources, online sources, I don't remember it only running for a couple months from September to December of 90. But I did have a few of the toys. The series did have really good animation for the time, but the characters did not look the same. But yes, it was technically continuity. It was actual canon. So, with that being said, for those Masters fans, He-Man fans, no, this is impossible for this storyline to be canon with New Adventures being canon. There are other books. There are Marvel, there are DC, and there's the He-Man versus Thundercat books. So most of those are not, well, the newer ones are not canon. They were just, that's what this felt like. This felt like someone who recently heard of Masters of the Universe, watched, like I said, the movie, because oh my god, did he have, that first episode had so many callbacks to the movie. And I was fine with that. I like the quotes, let this be our final battle, stuff like that. He ran a number of quotes from the movie, which that was okay. That I was fine with. And The whole Skelegod thing at the end, which is technically, again, ripped from the movie. That's why I really feel that he just watched the movie and watched a few episodes, maybe the beginning and the end, and then watched Toys That Made Us, and maybe the documentary, maybe, and then put this together. That sounds like what someone who was born in probably like 98 or maybe 2005 and just got into it and is still one of these. Yes, there's. I'm going to mention it. There are politics at play here. You can definitely tell they do throw identity politics. They do throw all kinds of that subtly, but it's there. Any common sense adult who is definitely now in late 30s, 40s, who watched the original Masters can pick on it like this. And that's not something that should have been done. I get it's Hollywood, and I get they have their biases, but keep it away from Masters. Keep your biases away from Masters. And that's clearly shown here. If you went into this not knowing what Masters of the Universe were, and you were looking for a strong woman TV cartoon, well, that's it. Because men, yeah, we had a little bit of Man-at-Arms. We had King Randor, the great king, being a total twat, which is not King Randor. No. This show, there were points in time where I was like, all right, is it done yet? Are they done? And again, for super fans, we do know that Teela and He-Man, or Teela and Adam, were supposed to have some kind of romantic relationship. They hinted at it in the 2002 series and the original. It was a thing. It's like it also felt like, oh wait, isn't Teela Sorceress's daughter? Oh yeah, let's do one line of that. One line referencing that. Teela had her fit. Everybody lied to me. Everybody lied to me. That's not Teela. That seems like a child these days, someone in their early 20s, maybe late teens. Oh, you lied. Oh, you lied. No, she would understand. Everybody, King Randor would understand. He's an adult. He would definitely. Everybody would get it. And she's like, oh, you told everybody. No, there were 3 others that shared this secret. Yes, his mother found out. But still, King Randor would not have done that. He would not have thrown him out. He would have understood that it would protect his son. If Skeletor or anybody else had found out that Adam was, they would have attacked him. They would have attacked him outside. They would have done so much. It would have made sense. King Randor would have been like, he would have been upset for a moment, and then he would have, okay, I understand. That's what he would have done. Teela would have done the same thing. She would have understood. She would have been a little upset because she thought they were friends, but she would understand. And then they would explain that Orko kind of went in there without him supposed to knowing, and that's how he found out. And Cringer, of course, Cringer knows because he's Battle Cat. And Sorceress gave, Adam the power sword. She instructed him, showed him where the sword was, said, here is the power. And then Man-at-Arms and Sorceress having that relationship. That's why the Sorceress trusted Duncan with her daughter to save her. Again, in secret, to keep Skeletor and the minions of evil, such as the Horde. Don't get me started how apparently the Horde is now a part of Preternia. Or mentioned in... If you're a Masters fan, go on this with a grain of salt. You may not like it. It will upset you. You have to admit that this isn't what you're looking for. That this isn't your He-Man. This isn't actual continuity. It was written by someone who doesn't know their stuff. And it panders. It panders to an audience that isn't ours. It doesn't matter that if you're male, female, white, black, Asian, it doesn't matter. If you grew up on He-Man, you know the lessons it taught us. You know the strong characters that it portrayed, that it showed that anybody can have this, anybody can live up to these standards. And then the lessons that they taught you at the end, this is not the same series. This is not He-Man. I'm hoping Netflix did put out a tweet. I did post the images on my personal Netflix account because I don't really put non-video game related stuff on my on the Red Bandana gaming site. Instagram or social media. But this is one I felt like I needed to do, and I think I will be playing the 2002 Masters video game for a video just to show you guys what was and how much better it was. I wish I could put video clips of the show here, but I know I'm going to get hit with a copyright claim, so I can't really do much for that. But yeah, there's my rant to all you fellow MOTU He-Man fans, to all you guys who respect the source material. No matter what fandom you have, you know that when they destroy the source material or just take a massive dump all over it and its fans, you know, I'm not one of those people. This did not destroy my childhood. It's something that someone does now with a property from my childhood. You didn't destroy it. You disrespected it, but you didn't destroy it. That Masters made me. Part of that Masters series made me. That He-Man character made part of me. The lessons, the strength, the courtesy, the just that character is in here. No way, Kevin Smith, did you destroy my childhood. You could have tried. You failed. My He-Man? That ain't my He-Man. He-Man was not a schmuck. We'll just call it that. So I'm not one of those, you didn't destroy anything. You couldn't even touch it if you tried. That original Masters will always play a special part in so many millions of people's lives all across the world. That series stayed as a gem. Started in 83, ended in 85. We had new adventures, and that's fine. The 2002 series, that's fine. It respected the source material. You did not. All right, I've gone on long enough. I've gone on almost 20 minutes. I doubt you guys made it this far, but for those who have, thank you for listening to my rant. Thank you for respecting my opinion. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry. Then just like, this isn't for you. Maybe the show is. If you didn't like my opinion, the original Masters isn't for you. The new Masters might be for you. If you liked my opinion, that means it's quite the opposite. The original Masters, the 2002 Masters, was for you. The new one, not so much. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Head on over at bandanagaming.com. Follow us on our socials. Like we always say, be like the real He-Man. That 1980s He-Man. Be like those Masters. Be legendary. Thanks again.